like, or what do you think maybe he was lacking, or how did you think it was overall?
I liked his game. He skated well. He moved his big body around. He made some plays. Physically got involved. Probably the negative was taking a penalty late, but those things happen, and not much we can do about it. Penalty kill arose to the occasion, and it's way too early for me to be evaluating Zach. We've got to give him some opportunities to really get up and running and get to know the team, the system, how we behave and act on the bench and in the locker room. So he's quite fresh, and we won't know, until we get into this. Probably around the All-Star break, we'll get a better indication of where he's at.
Did you know him at all before? Did you have any experience with the kind of guy he was? Did you have
No.
any interaction at all?
No, I never, never interacted with Zach. He was always on other teams, and it's just the way it was.
Todd, in terms of, I realize it was Yakup's first game back, so maybe that was why his ice time was where it at. But what does he have to do? What would you like to see him do to, play a little bit more, maybe get opportunities?
Well, he was back first game. We had 1 power play and 4 penalty kills. So in my book, that takes him out of 8 minutes of play automatically. He's in his first game, and let's just let Yak play for a little bit, and then we'll discuss how we're going to get him more minutes and that type of stuff. Like he's been out for a month and a half. He's trying to get up and running. I spotted him through the lineup with different types of players, and there's one in particular that he's had a lot of success with. So apparently he's coming back after the All-Star break, and that'll be a chance for us to maybe get him back together. But we've got to let Yak just play a little bit for a while. He's no different than Zach Kassian. In fact, Zach played more hockey than Yak did over the last 2 months. So let's let him get back and get going, and we'll worry about his minutes as the time goes on. Offensive situations, power play. If we end up with 4 power plays tonight, I'm pretty sure you'll see Yak with a lot more minutes. If we end up with 5 or 6 penalty kills, you probably won't. It's just the way it is.
Todd, you have 5 games coming up before the Olympic break, as you call it, 2 at home, 3 on the road. I know some coaches during stretches try and tell their players, treat this like a playoff series. Is that something that you do in your coaching philosophy, or how do you go into this little stretch of games before?
Well, we won't talk about it being a playoff series because it isn't. We're playing different teams, but we'll talk about the importance of these games. This segment of games that we're finishing tonight, in particular against Calgary, pitted us against 3 teams that we're chasing: Arizona, San Jose, and Calgary, and we've only been able to put 2 of 4 points in the bank. So this one becomes a pretty important one for us. There's a little bit of talk like that going on around our team and in the locker room to push the players, but playoff series, no.
Your group's lost 4 in a row, but all 1-goal losses, so you're kind of right there. What do you have to do to turn those 1-goal losses into wins?
Well, that's a good question. We've had 7 1-goal games in a row, and we've only been able to win 2 outright. So in those 7, we've scored, I think, 11 and given up 14. So the margin of error is very minute, and we're happy with the defensive part of it. Our penalty kill in Arizona let us down a little bit, but the defensive part, the goaltending, we haven't been giving up many. But did that come at the cost of offense? And when we look at our chances for over those 7 games, we've had numbers in around our normal range or territory. Then we've got to look at how and where they're coming from, and maybe not as dangerous as some other games. But we have had some pretty good looks at the net where it hasn't gone in, and sometimes that becomes individual, just awareness and finishing around the net. As the games get tighter and the error for or the margin for error or success gets tighter, you squeeze the stick a little bit more. We have some really talented players that are on some cold streaks, so I'm confident they'll come out of it at some point, and when they do, maybe it'll all happen at once, but we'll take it.
That last game against Calgary, you guys were in pretty good shape early on. I guess. What happened, or what do you have to do?
Shorthanded goal against, changed the momentum in a game, sloppy. And they came down the other way and played. Back-to-back games for us, ran out of gas coming out of Christmas. It was a factor in the game. Their D got active in the second half of the game and became dangerous. So those three factors basically did us in.
Todd, when it comes to your line combinations, it seems you like to give guys an opportunity to make it work. Keep guys together, whether the production is there or not, to try and let them play through it. What's your philosophy on kind of when the right time is to start shuffling the cards around?
Well, that's an interesting, because I've been accused of shuffling the deck way too quick, so it's nice to see somebody observe the other side of it.
You seem to stay with
Yeah.
Taylor and Leon even when...
Well, we haven't, they haven't been, yeah, we've gone away from that. We've gone away from Teddy, and when it's going real well, I don't see any reason to disrupt it. When it begins to fade a little bit, I believe in giving that group an opportunity to work their way out of it. They enjoy, not only Taylor and Leon, they enjoy playing with each other, but if it's not giving us the results we need, we have to look at doing different things. Sometimes the opposition creates a match that, we want to move guys around. And Pakarinen, for example, I thought he's played well the last 2 games. He played heavy, hard, created turnovers for other players. The position that he plays in, he can play physical against some of the other team's skills. So we look at that a bit. But right now, we haven't scored a lot. So we're looking for combinations, pairs, and we've also brought 2 new players into the lineup that likely, and it goes back to the question here, they're not 3rd and 4th line players, but we're trying to win games too and reintroduce them to the game.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Todd.